This guy here, Blinken, is an appointed official. He is not an elected official. He is not in charge of a damn thing when it comes to the sale of weapons to foreign countries. But this ass bag, this fine gentleman over here, pardon me, took it upon himself to go to Israel and sell them billions in weapons without the permission of Congress. Why do we need the permission of Congress? What's Congress's function?
Well, they declare war and they determine who gets military assets.
They also control the purse strings. It's specifically
Correct.
written into the Constitution. They're the ones who control all of that. So we've got, and these guys are just out of control. I'm a little speechless on some of this stuff because I can't believe this is my country anymore. You hear people say that, but I worked deep down in the guts of a lot of this shit, and this guy doing this. The Biden administration, for the second time this month, has bypassed Congress to approve the transfer of nearly $150 million in military equipment to Israel amidst the country's war with Hamas. Secretary of State Blinken informed Congress that he made an emergency determination to immediately approve the transfer of 155 millimeter rounds, fuses, charges, primers, and the things that make those shells functional. An artillery shell, for those of you who don't understand this properly, has multiple parts. You don't just take a bullet and stick it in a thing. That's not how artillery works at all.
And we're also low on now. This is just what I've heard from various individuals. We are low on a lot of our ammo because we've been giving it all the fuck away. This is ridiculous. Correct. Now, I have nothing against Israel. I have nothing against the Palestinians. I'm just sick of fucking paying for it.
Yes.
And we need to rein this shit in because this is bullshit right here.
Yeah, I don't care who does what in another country, but not my pig, not my farm.
That's right.
Straight up. The Biden administration once again bypasses Congress and emergency weapon sales to Israel. Now, here's a thing that we noticed earlier today. The first article I showed you was CNN. This second article here is ABC News, and so on and so forth. The Blaze, you would expect them to post an article like that about it. But the thing is, these are the major news agencies, thank you.
Correct.
That are speaking out against the Biden administration. This is more or less at this level of first. They've called out little things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a first where they're calling out the administration for an action like this. I don't know if it's because they have to, because it's so blatantly obvious, or if we're seeing a sea change and the Biden administration is starting to take it in the shorts.
We are going to see, in my opinion, there's a change going on. The powers that be that put dictator in chief in his seat no longer wants him there. So therefore, they're turning their media machine against him.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
I would agree with that assessment. Hopping over to the Blaze article real quick here. Where did we go over here with it? Biden administration has decided to bypass Congress to provide emergency weapons to Israel in its war with Hamas. Associated Press issued this article. Now, for those of you who don't know, Reuters and Associated Press produce most of the news in the Western world. Those two organizations are very tightly controlled. I forget who their parent company is, but you can tell that they take instructions. That's where you get the roles. You've seen them on YouTube where every single news agency is all saying exactly the same thing.
Because
in perfect unison.
They're all owned by 6 corporations.
Correct. Reuters and AP produce all of those articles. That's where they get the material. Now, if AP and Reuters are floating stories like this, it's like Pop and I just said. He's correct. I think this administration is about to take one in the shorts. I am worried about what that will mean for us.
Well, I mean, my thing is this, is they know if Trump gets elected or another populist president gets elected, a lot of this shit is going to be dragged out into the public eye, and it is not going to end well for a lot of people. In my opinion, of course.
Yeah.
Now, if this gets dynamic, it goes crazy, I'm not getting involved. I'm getting the fuck out of the way and letting it just, play out as it is because I'm old and broken. So, I'm just telling you the deal.
Yeah. Steve OUK says somebody told him what happens to the Politburo. That's not a bad point. If this goes sideways and the media has decided to take a side which covers their own ass, that would not surprise me at all. Something here has to give. We have so much blatant treason going on.
Yes.
With all of this stuff, and for just cabinet officials to blatantly take charge of the purse strings and take that power away from Congress, that is a huge rift in what's left of the contract that we call the Constitution.
Absolutely correct.
There's something's going to have to give there. That part right there ties to another thing that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But you got anything else to add to this one? Because,
well, like I said in the beginning, this is one huge clusterfuck, and it's not taking us anywhere good. I'm not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. We've got people at the highest levels implicated in straight up corruption and, dare I say, treason, sedition. In my opinion, of course, I'm not a lawyer, but there you go.
That was one of the things that's been part of this whole Israel thing, by the way. And I don't know, have we talked about that? The Israel-Palestine, everybody's trying to pick a side and everybody's going after each other.
Well, yeah. Well, what we've learned is the left is they're the ones that are the biggest anti-Semites, because literally they want to see Israel wiped out to the last man. And that's what that chant means. Palestine will be free. From
the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Right. Yeah. What's interesting here is this article from AP. Hamas hides behind civilians, has embedded itself among the civilian population, but that does not lessen Israel's responsibility and strategic imperative to distinguish between civilians and Hamas as it conducts operations. This type of campaign can only be won by protecting civilians. It is uncertain how Israel intends to minimize the deaths of civilians while eliminating Hamas terrorists. For those of you who pay any attention to the media at all, for a major news organization to even left-handedly criticize Israel in that fashion is a big
policy shift.
That's correct. A policy shift right there.
Jim, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say, when you had I just saw a video earlier today that some lady freaked out at a McDonald's employee because the wrapper was white and had blue stripes on it. Huh. Oh, apparently you're still supporting Israel. It's like it's a fucking rapper, people.
It's
not that.
Here's
serious.
Another thing.
Who the what?
Here's another thing that's going to happen. All right, the Jewish community donates an insane amount of money to higher education.
That's a fact.
All right, that is going to dry up because of all of the Semite craziness that took place across this entire country at the college level, especially the Ivy Leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, they're an absolute disgrace, in my opinion. In fact, Steve and I were just talking before the show that an actual degree today is about as valuable as toilet paper.
No, I'd take a toilet paper, honestly.
Yeah, more comfortable.
To be completely, yeah.
But, I mean, this is what's going on. It is absolutely insane.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.